grade 2 and welcome back to the sofa. Today, I want us to come back to our tone ladder, to all of our pitches that so far we in grade 2 know the best. So up here I have our do, re, mi, and our so and la. Now remember, so to me, we have that space in between because so and me, they are not neighbors. We know from when we sing our warm-up song and we go do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. We know there's a pitch that goes in between there. We have fa in between so and mi, so, fa, mi, re, do. But we haven't practiced fa as much yet in grade 2, so we're going to leave that spot empty. So, la, they are neighbors. They are side by side. So we're gonna say it's like we're stepping up the ladder. They're side by side. You just have to take one step. So, la, step up. Can you repeat that after me? I'll go first. Ready? So, la, step up. Good job. Now, so, mi. We just said they weren't neighbors. They're not side by side. There's a space in the middle. So instead of a step, we are going to call that a skip. A skip down because we have to skip over this spot in the middle. So, mi, skip down. Does that make sense? So what about mi, re? Is that a step or is that a skip? Mi, re. That is a step, right? Mi, re, step down. What about re, do, re, do? Is that a step or a skip? That's a step too. They're side by side. Re, do, step down. What about do, mi, do, mi? Is that a step or a skip? Do, mi. That's a skip because we skipped over re. We missed re. We skipped over it. Do, mi is a skip up. Can you repeat that after me? Ready? Do, mi, skip up. Good job. All right, I want us to think of our song that we've already seen on our ladder before. I want us to think of down came Johnny, down came he. Now remember, musicians have a way of writing down pitches so that other people can read them. Just like when we have a story, we can write it down with words so that someone else can read our words and know what we're saying. Musicians can write down the pitches, they can write down the song so that someone else can look at it and be able to sing it too. Musicians, we use lines to write down our music. So, I want us to think about the end of Down Came Johnny right now when we sing, who has the button? Who has the button? Can we sing that as our pitches? Ready? Starting with so, so, mi, mi, so, so. So, because it's pretty close to the top of our tone ladder, right? So when we look at our lines, do we think that so is going to be closer to the top of the lines or closer to the bottom of the lines? So is going to be closer to the top. So we are going to put so on this very top line. There we go, there's our so. Do you see how the line is going through the middle of the note? It's sitting on top of the line. So, what comes after so? Who has the, mi, mi? Mi comes next, how many of them? Has the. There's two me's. We have to put two me's up here on our lines. Where do you think we're going to put them? If so is on the top line here, what do you remember? Is me going to go above it on the lines or is it going to go below it on the lines? It's going to go below because me is lower than so. How far below? If we look at our ladder, so and me, are they neighbors? No, they're not neighbors. Remember, we just practiced this. It's a skip. We're skipping a space in between. So if our so is here, to put our me on the lines, we have to skip that space in between and then add it below. All right, there's our me's. Who has the? See how me, we put it on the line underneath, but we left that space in the middle for the skip. It ends with who has the button? What's at the end? Button. 2 so's. Where's that so gonna go? It's gonna go in the same place as our first one. They're both so's, they're going to match. But just like when we read from left to right? We started here and went so, me. So our last 2 so's, we have to keep going over here. We have to keep writing it the same way we write a sentence. Check it out, there's our melody. So, me, so, who has the button? Makes sense? So now let's do the next part of the song. Let's do who has the key? So, me, do. Let's see if we can put so, me, do on our lines like musicians. All right, we already had so on this line before, right? So we're gonna keep that the same. It's the same song. Who has the key? What comes next? Me comes next. How many of them are there? Who has the? There's going to be 2 me's. Where are we going to put the me's on our lines? We're gonna put them lower than so, and we have to leave a spot in between. So leave the spot. Our me is gonna be on this line, just like our me was up there. So, me. Now here's the fun question. Who has the key? So, me, do. Where is the do going to go on our lines? Me, do. If we're going from me to do, is it a step or is it a skip? It's a skip. We're skipping over A. Me, do. It's a skip. So when we put it on those lines, that means we're gonna have to leave a space in between. We're gonna have to leave that spot for us to skip over. So where are we gonna put that do? We're gonna leave that space in the middle and we're gonna put it on the bottom line. Here we go. Ta-da! We left a space in between because me to do is a skip. So let's sing both of these. Let's go back up to the first one. This is button. Ready, so, me, so. Now try the key. So, me, do. Does that make sense? So just like on our ladder, the higher you go, the higher the pitch is. The lower you go, the lower the pitch is. The same thing happens on our lines, right? These pitches are moving lower. Okay, one more nice and quick. If we think of the ending of the first part of the song, the first section, down came Johnny, down came he is hiding the button and the key. Me, re, do. Do you think we could put this part onto our lines? Do you think we could write it down? Let's match to the other part of our song so we know that me is going to be on our middle line. Me. How many do we need of them? 2. All right, now here's where things get fun. Ready? Me, re. The next pitch is re. We're gonna have 2 of them. Where are we going to put re on our lines? Is it lower or higher? It's lower than me, but is it a step or a skip? It's only a step. They are neighbors, they're side by side. So we are not going to skip over the spot. We are going to put our re in the spot because they are neighbors. They're side by side. So it's gonna look like this. Check it out. Our re is in that space because it's side by side. It's still lower than me, but they are neighbors. It's a step down. Button and our ending, we end on do. Where's our do gonna go? Is it a step or a skip? Re, do. It's a step. They're going to be side by side. So if we go right next door to re, that means do is going to be on our bottom line. Check it out, look up here. Does it match? Was do on the bottom line up here too? Yeah, it should match because this all belongs to the same song. So that means we got it right. We're going to put our do on the bottom line. There we go, there's button and the key. Mi, mi, re, re, do. Do you see how they're each just stepping down one? Fantastic work today, grade 2. I will see you soon. Let's clap out together before we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.